Good morning, traders. Welcome to the live trading room. I hope you are all doing well this morning and you've had a great weekend. Right, let's get started. We'll get right into it. We'll start with pound US dollar, and the reason for that is that there is a potential trade that looks very good in both the 1 hour and the 4 hour. So the 4 hour setup is as follows. Let's have a look at it. Rather the 1 hour, let's have a look at the 1 hour right now. So we have not closed above the upper boundary of the flag, and this is the flag here on pound US dollar. We are looking for this. We are looking for this to make a continuation pattern to the upside. So we will be looking for a setup at current levels for more upside. That is on the 1 hour. Why are we looking for this to continue with the bullish move? That's because on the 4 hour, this is what we've been looking. We have been bullish since a pound reversed from the blue box here, the 4 hour blue box. Let's have a look at that. Okay, no, that was the 4 hour structure. So there are a number of blue boxes here. So what you're seeing here on the 1 hour, okay, so I'm going to show you a blue box on the 1 hour, on the 4 hour, as well as on the daily. So let's go back to the 1 hour again, just to have a look at that blue box. Now, if you look at the 1 hour, there are 3 waves in this structure. These 3 waves, you cannot really see the number of waves here. So I'm going to go down into the 30 minutes just so we can see the blue box here, although we do not necessarily identify it here in this degree. But let's have a look at it on the 30 minutes. It will be a little bit more clearer. So let's zoom in a bit on the 30 minutes. So the 30 minutes is showing us the following. So we have got a move down 1, 2, 3. That is a pullback. Another move 1, 2, 3. So that is our 3-wave structure. Now, if you look at where we are currently on pound US dollar, if we have to project the fib there, the equal legs, we are starting from here. We're coming down here. We're coming back here, and you will see that we are right deep into the blue box. So let's put that on there. So the blue box here between 100% and 123. So that's where we are. Why is that moving around? So this is where we are on the blue box on pound US dollar. So we are looking for this to make a continuation move to the upside. Right, so that's what we have there. So let's put this one on. We'll be looking for this 1 hour candle. Just remember we are on the 30 minutes here. We don't want a 30 minutes candle, but a 4 hour candle. So here I am just making a channel, not a trend line. I'm making a channel here. Okay, so this is where we are with pound. Now that is the 1 hour. What about the 4 hour? Let's have a look at the 4 hour. Now the 4 hour has also made this corrective structure. It's a bit messy. It's a bit of a messy structure here on the 4 hour. So the 4 hour looks as follows. Let's have a look at this. We've made a move to the downside. We've made this 3-wave structure here. And we've made what this looks like here, a blue box here. We've pushed up from the blue box. We've retested it again, and it looks like we are ready to push to the upside now. So let's identify that 4 hour blue box. Let's have a look here. Just want to make sure that that is the right structure. Let's project it as well. Let's identify that one on the 4 hour. So the blue box on the 4 hour is this one here. Excuse the messy structures there. So that is the 4 hour blue box. We have pushed a little bit lower than the blue box, but we are now looking for this to make a move to the upside. That is where we are on pound US dollar, looking for more upside. Okay, so let's have a look here on the daily. Now remember the daily, the blue box was here on the daily. We're looking for this one to continue pushing to the upside. So it is not surprising to see us looking for this to continue to the upside. Let's have a look here and go to the website. So before that, let's look at the 4 hour or the daily bigger blue box, which we have seen a couple of days ago. So the bigger blue box, I'm going to take this off. You already have the box is projected, so you know that that's between 100 and 123. So the bigger one is this one here. The move started right at the top there, coming down here, and came back up there. So the 4 hour, the daily blue box is this one here. So this is where we are with pound. So any continuation pattern, this was a 4 hour setup for more upside. There's a 1 hour one here. We're looking for more upside. So all indications are for more upside on pound. If we break this recent high here, we can move your stop to break even and let this one run to the upside. Right, so that is pound US dollar. Let's look at the rest here. Euro US dollar. Now, Euro US dollar, we are looking at this structure here. I am on the 4 hour. We will be looking for a similar corrective structure here on Euro. You just need to be careful with Euro because it looks like it has started the move to the upside with 5 waves. So if we push to the upside here, it will not be surprising to see Euro US dollar pull back to 50% before the move to the upside. Now, why are we expecting a move to the upside on Euro US dollar? Let me show you something here. Let's just switch everything off here, just so you can see. So we are looking for Euro US dollar to be making a zigzag as follows. This zigzag complies with the rules, even though we did not reach the we have not reached the blue box. We could still reach it, but even if we don't reach the blue box, this is an acceptable zigzag. Those who have attended the course will know that the rules are we need to have this one retracing above 90% for this to be a flat. Now, we're not looking for that to be a flat. We're looking for it to be a zigzag with 5, 5, 5. This is the structure that I showed yesterday as well. So this is five waves to the downside. This is 3 waves to the upside with this expanding flat and a move to the upside. Now here you have got a wave 1, you've got a wave 2, which is a running flat. You have got a wave 3 as follows that comes all the way down here. From there, you've got a wave 4 that is an expanding flat. And we're looking for this one to have ended here. We would have liked this to end right down at the blue box which would be here. Okay, so we're still missing the blue box we missed the blue box by about 100 pips. Okay, by about 100 pips, 90 pips, but that's fine. If that is going to reverse here, remember the rule is we just need this to be anywhere below the 1,618. Okay, it must just be anywhere below the 100% here and at least 0.618. Okay, so we have missed the blue box, but that's fine. So if we're going to get an entry around these levels, we're going to start taking this to the upside. Now, look at how interesting this is. Let's have a look at this. Even if this is not the move that's going to go from here, I'm going to go up to the daily first. Let's have a look at the daily. Now, if you look at the daily, we've got very strong divergence. That is the divergence. We have been making this upside here since the drop in July. Since the July started, we have been dropping, but the RSI has been on an uptrend. So it is likely that we are going to see upside, even if we do see a bit of downside here, but we are expecting this to make a move to the downside. Whether we get into the blue box, we are still expecting a longer term to the move to the upside. That is on the daily. Now, let's go down up to the weekly chart. So it's even more interesting on the weekly. You see that on the daily, the move is only just starting to the upside. The weekly, yes, we are slightly above, we're slightly below 50, but as you can see, we have resetted here. Even though we are slightly below here, we would be expecting this to break up here and make a continuation move to the upside. And that will be a very good structure for more upside. So even I'm only waiting for a confirmation here. Even if we do get this one continue to the downside here correctively, we'll eventually be looking for this to give us that wave 4 and then upside. So watch out for this on the euro. All right, so that's what we have there on the euro. Do not rush it. As you can see, the pound is almost confirming on the 1 hour, but the euro has not yet confirmed the 1 hour upside. Okay, so the 1 hour structure on the euro is this one here. We are above 50. We have resetted. So we will be looking for this end, but like I said, these are 5 waves. So we can get a push to the upside and make a move here before we push to the upside. Right, so interesting structures there. DXY will be obviously just the inverse of what we are looking at. So if you look at the DXY, almost looking like a move to the downside here on the 1 hour. So it won't be surprising to see the euro starts making a move to the upside, pound starting a move to the upside. Okay, so that is what we are looking at this session. We should see this, break below the flag and continue to the downside. So weakness in the DXY, even if it is in the short term. Right, US dollar chief already started with the move to the downside. This is a three-wave pullback here. As you can see, we've got this here. We are looking for this to continue to the downside. That is US dollar chief as well as the euro. All right, so US dollar chief downside. Let's go to US dollar CAD. Now, US dollar CAD, be careful here. Looks like US dollar CAD, we're about to drop. We're looking for it to just drop with this flag here, but we can see that this is a double, 3 up, 3 down, and 3 up. So we are looking for this. This is actually on the blue box of this move. This is a blue box here. This is a blue box here for this short pullback here. Okay, after this bigger one here to the upside, we made a move down and we are making this pullback. So we would expect US dollar CAD to come back to about 24.20, the previous lows. Let's have a look here. The 1 hour is right at the top. We've reset it here. Let's look at the 4 hour as well. 4 hour, not much in terms of confirmation as yet. All we can see is that this is a three-wave structure. This is at the top, slightly above 50, but that's not nothing because that can still break to the downside. Okay, our three-wave structure, the bigger one was this one here. So that's why we're expecting this to be just a pullback and continue to the downside. We need to break this low to see this one make a move all the way down here. Okay, so that's where we are. Keep an eye on US dollar CAD for more downside there. Right, that is US dollar CAD. Very likely that we're going to see downside here. Okay, let's have a look at the daily chart. The daily is in the middle of nowhere. As you can see, the stock is in the middle of nowhere, just trading lower here. So these can just drop below 50 here just because of the 4 hour and the 1 hour. Look for these two, at least come retest this low here. Right, Audi US dollar. Will we eventually see Audi US dollar reverse? As it is now on the daily, Audi US dollar is not making a reversal. We are going to see downside. Slight difference to what we're expecting of Euro US dollar. So let's see if we're going to get a move to the downside here. As you can see, we are at the top here. We are below 50, so we are bearish. Although even this, if this can come down here with divergence, that can just come and reverse around that area. New Zealand as well. So New Zealand also showing slight downside here. We've got this move here, we've got that. We can get this one making a move here, not all the way down and then reverse. The bigger structure is still this one, and we are still looking for this on the New Zealand. Okay, so let's just keep an eye on that one. We won't be necessarily trading this one right now. We'll wait for it to give us a setup. US dollar ZAR, similar to US dollar CAD, we'll be expecting a pullback here. Let's go back to the 1 4 hour. Right, so US dollar ZAR still within this corrective structure here. This is the corrective structure on US dollar ZAR. And then continuation to the upside. So let's keep an eye on this one. Pound yen. Right, pound yen. Yesterday we expected these to continue to come and retest here, this level for a potential flat correction. Right, even if we do see pound yen bouncing from here and we go all the way back to 154, that will be a three-wave structure and we're going to expect this. Okay, we're going to expect this move to the upside. So let's watch what happens here. Is this going to be the reversal here to make a flat correction? Right, so let's watch that for now on pound US dollar. We'll wait for this to give us confirmation here. That is not confirmation for a reversal, it's just a candle reversal or a bounce. So we're not going to look at that as yet. US dollar yen. we were expecting this to continue to the upside, but when it made this move and we saw, this is what we saw actually. And this is how the indicator saves you from the wrong analysis. So let's look at what we initially looked at and how the structure eventually transpired. So this is what we have. I'm going to delete this. We bought this from the blue box, and the blue box was for this, and we're expecting this to go all the way. We got the reaction from here, and it pushed up to this level. Now, when it pushed up to this level, look what happens to the indicator. Okay, so if you look at the 4-hour, so at that level, we were looking for a pullback at this level. We've already made the impulse. Now, if you missed it from the blue box, what you do is you look for it to give us a pullback, at least in 3 waves, so that we can ride it onto the trend. So something like this, 1, 2, 3, and then upside. Okay, so that never came. And if you look at that, the 4-hour and the stock were right at the top. So there was no way you could take a new trade at this level. Now, what was even more interesting was that on the daily, we had a setup for downside. This is where the daily was, and that setup was only just getting started. As you can see here, we were right at the top, okay? And we're right here, we're resetting on the daily. Look at where the RSI is on the daily, well below 50. So this is why we didn't expect this to continue to the downside and looked for this trade setup here on the 4-hour. This setup here on the 4-hour was telling. So this one here, this 4-hour setup here. So as much as you can get, and you are going to get a lot of structures wrong, but the indicator will always save you from the wrong analysis. So that's why we're now looking for this one to come down here, and the structure is looks like this. It's a lot clearer. It's hindsight. Hindsight is always the best side, isn't it? So we've got this one as an expanding flat. We've got this as 3 waves down. We will expect the same 3 waves to the downside here. We've got the 3 waves down there. We're expecting the same thing there. At some point, we're going to have that pullback on euro, or rather on US dollar yen. For now, it's continuation to the downside. Euro yen. Euro yen, last week we were looking for this. We actually looked for euro yen to drop from here after it made these 3 waves. Even though, just like the rest of the yen pairs, we had these bounces here that we looked at to be blue boxes. We have got reactions in 3 waves. We came back down here. So even when this one pushed to the upside, look at where the indicator was last week. Even when that one pushed to the upside, look at where the indicator was. So this was just never going to the upside, and it is coming down here as follows. So what we're gonna want to do here is to look for euro to bounce around this level. If it bounces around these levels, this is going to be a very good trade for more downside. Okay, very likely we will bounce around this level. So if you're on a euro US dollar sell setup, look for it to get to 28.61. We will look for a bounce at that level. And if we do bounce back to 30.56, we'll look to sell it. Chief has been bearish since this structure here. So this was a setup for a sell here. Now, if you look at Chief, very similar thing happened to Chief as did with US dollar yen. Let's do a bit of recap here, a bit of learning on this one. So Chief yen has made 1, 2, 3. This is the blue box area. The blue box area will actually be here. All right, so that will be the blue box area. So these are the kind of blue box setups that I like, that are confirmed by the indicator, because most are not confirmed. That's why you take them aggressively and you have to put your stop loss far. Right, so with this one, we made a move all the way to the top. Let's make it straight, exactly where it happened. So this is where the blue box was. We are right in the deep in the blue box. We're at the top here. Okay, the RSI obviously is still above 50. All right, now as the RSI is still above 50, you will take this aggressively from the blue box because you're looking for a sell. But here, if you look at that setup, that was now confirmed by our strategy. So likely we are still within the blue box. We've got a setup and we look for downside, because look at that and look at this. So as soon as this one broke lower here, that was confirmation that we're going to see downside, just like we did together with the US dollar yen structure. So here, expect a bit of a pullback. We'll look for continuation to the downside. That is Chief CAD. Now, CAD, we need to understand why we are looking at these downsides on the yen pairs. Remember, we were looking for reactions here, and this way our blue boxes. Instead of getting an impulse and all the way moved all the way to the upside, we got reactions. But those reactions, we could see that they were not gonna go all the way because, as you can see here, we made a three-wave structure. And last week we got a setup from here to look for this to go reverse from the blue box. We did not even get to the blue box, but we have instead reversed. So what we have here is a simple three-wave structure, and we are looking for more downside here on CAD yen. Any pullback, look for this to continue to the downside. Do not forget why we are selling CAD yen. It is because of this. Guys, just as an announcement, the LTAs will resume on Monday. Sandile is recovering. He's just waiting to be discharged now. Could be discharged any day now. I'm talking to him daily, and he's feeling much better now. He just can't wait to get out. He doesn't want to be in the hospital anymore. But otherwise, they're keeping him there just for precautions. So again, apologies for the last 2 weeks. We just did not have the capacity for the LTA, although everything has been updated. The charts have been updated as usual. Only thing that we did not have was the live technical analysis, which is every day at 10 a.m. GMT. So everything should resume to normal by next week. Now, this is the reason why we're selling CAD. So at that point, when we wanted the reaction from the blue box, we were simply looking for this one to make one last move to the upside before the drop. But what we are seeing here is that this was actually the last move here, and any move to the downside is confirmation of this bigger corrective structure. So we're going to be selling this one for the coming medium to long term, almost back to 74, which is about 1,300 pips. Doesn't move in a straight line. You take it one wave at a time. Let's go back. All right, that is CAD, and that is why CAD is moving lower like that. Any continuation to the downside, look for a trade to the downside. There is a possibility for this year, for this to bounce. If it bounces like the yen, we analyzed on the yen, or rather pound yen, we'll still look for this to continue to the downside because of the bigger corrective structure. I don't see this one going to make a new all-time highs from here, but that's well, let's just see how the structure is going to play out. For now, we are still bearish. Right, New Zealand yen, 1, 2, 3. We made a three-wave move to the upside. Last week, we expected this one to drop from here. Any pullback, we look for this to continue to the downside. We may get a deeper pullback at current levels like that. That will be giving an opportunity to sell some more. Audi, we also saw the same thing, pulsing move there, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Moves to the breaks lower here. There was a setup for downside, and we have now retested this level. I would expect it to come down to this level. Let's see if we're going to get a bounce from this level. That is Audi yen. Gold continues to the upside, still setting on for more upside on the 4 hour. Let's see if we've got a setup, not necessarily a setup on the 4 hour, but there will be one on the 1 hour. If it is on the 1 hour, just means that we may not have a bigger move as we would if it was a 4 hour. So this is a setup on the 1 hour. So gold should see continuation to the upside this coming session, back to about 1780. So 1800 is also possible here on gold. We are setting up for another leg up higher. Silver, three-wave structure here, three-wave pullback, 1, 2, 3. We are in the blue box here. We're looking for this to continue to the upside. We are about 50. All indications are for more upside here. Platinum, nothing much to look at on platinum. I can't really see this one pushing to the upside. Even if we do push to the upside, we should see this, just that. Brent crude. Right, so Brent crude 4 hour, this is the structure that we are looking at. We should see this continue to the downside. Remember, we've got these three waves to the downside. 1, 2, 3. That's what we expected. If you watched yesterday's video, you'll see that we expected this to drop from here. We are already dropping. We'll be expecting this to reverse around 66, which will be the blue box of this structure here. Right, so that is Brent crude oil, pound CAD. Pound CAD, since that drop from here, we had a setup there on pound CAD for downside, did not go all the way as we expected, but that's fine. Then that means that move in that trade can be closed, and we'll look for this one to push to the upside as follows. So any 1 hour correction here, look for this to go retest the top there. Okay, look for that to go retest the top there. Why is that? That's because we've got 3 wave structure here. We could be retesting that level. The bigger structure, we started the move down. This will be the correction, and we will look for this. That is a pound CAD, pound Audi. So pound Audi, we wanted it to come down slightly here and make a continuation to the upside, but that means that that structure has completed, and we are looking for upside here on pound. New Zealand. New Zealand will also follow pound, will possibly make a running flat here. We'll look for this one to start making a move to the upside. Look for setups to the upside. Pound Chief, after the 3-wave pullback, we've shown this yesterday as well. After the 3-wave pullback, we've only made the 3-wave structure, even though we wanted this to push a little bit higher. But then that's the 3-wave structure to the downside, and we're looking for this to continue to the downside. While we are on Pound Chief, I'm going to run through the rest of the pairs that have got the Chief in on them, like Euro Chief. You'll see that all of the Chief pairs are dropping to the downside. From US dollar Chief, Euro Chief, Audi Chief, New Zealand Chief, CAD Chief, all of them are dropping. Why is that? Let's have a look here. Euro Chief, I've said that even if you see an impulse, if it comes down here and it goes even higher, you just look for sells, because this is long-term bearish. Okay, when we resume with the LTA, we'll go through this in detail. But for now, we are looking for Euro Chief to continue lower, almost back to 700 here. Okay, so that's Euro Chief, Audi, or rather, let's go to Chief, Audi Chief as well. We have been looking for this to break lower here. It has, and we're looking for this one to go all the way to the downside. CAD Chief, a very similar structure to Audi Chief, rather Pound Chief. 1, 2, 3, and then downside. Remember, we got this one right here. This was a setup, a blue box setup from last week. We wanted this to get up to this level, and now we are here and we are reversing. No surprises there. Those are all the Chief pairs. Let's look at the New Zealand Chief as well. New Zealand Chief. So New Zealand Chief, although not quite related to the rest of the structure here, this looks like it was the end of the move. We've made a move to the upside. We'll look for this one to pull back here. So all the Chief pairs are looking bearish. Only look for sell setups from US dollar Chief, as you can see. Right. Watch US dollar CAD. Do not forget US dollar CAD. This may be dropping pretty soon. If you want to be safe, wait for the 4-hour candle to close below here, and you look to take it there and possibly lower. Right, where were we? We were on Brent crude. We've already gone through all the pound pairs. Have we? Yes, we have. Euros. We expected this to continue to the upside. We have got 1, 2, 3. This looks like a 4. We'll look for a 5 here. If this is going to continue to the upside, we're going to need to see a continuation to the upside there. So that is where we are on Euro Pound. So let's see. This impulse is here. We are here. We are here. Let's look at the daily chart. Right. So daily. Very interesting candle here on the daily. I don't see that structure on the daily. Let's look at the 1 hour here. That daily candle does not look correct. Where did this open? Do you guys see what I'm seeing here? So we've got the daily here. Look at this big candle. On the daily, it's showing me that we have a high of 85.42. We have the current low at 84.83, and that is the current price. So what this is showing me on the daily is that we've got a move up here and a big move to the downside. That's not what I'm seeing on the 4-hour. Can you see that? It's not the same. The market opened here this morning. That does not look correct on the daily. Somebody please check on another platform if you can, if you've got access to another platform. That daily candle does not look correct. I don't see a big move. Okay, I can see that we've been to 85.18 high. But this candle, can you see? We'd never got to 85.41. So something is wrong there. Please somebody check on another platform. This chart is not right. I'm gonna skip it for now. Euro New Zealand, while somebody please check if we, even if it is towards the end of the webinar, that you can give us some feedback. Just check for us if that candle exists in other platforms as well. You can see it on the daily, but not on the 4-hour or the 1-hour. Euro New Zealand daily looks like we're starting upside here. Looks like we've got this as our flat correction here, and we'll be looking for to start a move to the upside. We don't have a setup as yet, so let's just wait for data on that one. Okay. Euro Audi. Look for upside. As you've seen, pound Audi is upside. This one is looking like a flat correction there. Look for upside if we get a 1-hour correction there. Let's keep an eye on that. EuroCAD, same. Looking for more upside. This is what we have on EuroCAD, 1, 2, 3. That was a setup that you had on the website. We're looking for this to continue to the upside. EuroChief we've done, Audi New Zealand, looking for continuation to the downside. So we'll look for this to continue lower. Remember the target on this one, 1.02. So still 200 pips away. Audi CAD. Audi CAD, we've seen this. All the pairs with the CAD, we are looking for this to come one more down. We are bearish. We are bearish. Let's see here if we're going to continue to the downside. We need to get this confirmation here. 4 hours is a setup for downside. This is a setup for downside. Audi CAD, downside. Let me go back up EuroCAD. Okay, so not the same, not correlated because of the CAD there. New Zealand CAD not showing anything as either. Let's go to the indices. There's nothing new on the indices, the guys, that we can say other than what we've already said yesterday, that you only look for 1 hour and continuation patterns to the upside. It's all green and looking for upside only. I'm going to go straight to the UK 100 because that's where we're seeing at least a pullback currently after we've made this big move to the upside. So we'll look for this to make at least a 3-wave move back before any continuation to the upside. All right, that is the UK 100 and the DAX. Also starting to show a correction here. Let's see if we're going to get at least a 3-wave pullback and continuation to the upside. The Nikkei, we are getting that move. Remember what we've been looking for all along was for this to give us this structure. We have got it now. We're looking for this to make us, give us one more to the downside. It's playing out as analyzed for the last couple of days. And the Nifty parabolic move to the upside after making this regular flat. We have been looking for this to continue up higher. Nothing changes, 1 hour corrections, you're still looking for more upside. There's nothing new on the indices, guys. So we should see continuation to the upside. The cryptocurrencies, I was expecting a pullback, but we have seen a blue box setup, another 4-hour blue box setup this morning. Unfortunately, this one is already gone. Last week, we saw these setups here on the 4-hour. This is what we saw on last week here when we were at around 43, 42. We expected this to continue to the upside. We have made about 3,000 move. Here again, same thing. expect continuation to the upside. RSI is still above 50, so we are going to expect Bitcoin to reach 50,000 even in the next couple of sessions. So we should see more upside here. That is what the indicator is showing us, that we're going to see more upside here. 50,000 is now within reach as far as Bitcoin is concerned. So Ethereum as well, they've all made those structures that we saw last week here. Remember, a running flat last week on Ethereum with this setup resulted in a move from about 2,900 to about 3,300. Now we've pulled back again exactly the same way. We are looking for this to continue to the upside. Nothing new there. We are now consolidating on the 1 hour. Ethereum should see 3,500, 3,600 there in the coming sessions. Litecoin, same thing. Not as clean as Bitcoin and Ethereum though, but we are seeing this on the 4 hour. We are looking for more upside. Another consolidation on the 1 hour. Litecoin 200 now within reach. XRP, what a rally by XRP over the last couple of days and over the weekend as well. So we saw this last week on Ripple with this 3-wave pullback. This was our setup. Look at how much we got there. From 90 to 28, almost 50% move from that 4 hour setup. So now we are consolidating again with a similar setup. We could get this one here to see continuation to the upside on Ripple. Dogecoin, okay, so Dogecoin is not rallying as much as the others, but it is on a move as well. So no, it has actually made a big move, Dogecoin, almost a 50% increase from about 25 over the last week or so. So it is also pushing to the upside. I'm on the 4 hour here, but I don't necessarily see a 4 hour setup on Dogecoin. We last saw a 4 hour setup last week when we were here. And from there at 24 cents, we've now pushed up to 33, almost double where we were a week ago. Right, so still continuation to the upside. It's a parabolic move to the upside. Wait for a decent pullback to ride the trend. One of the best performing altcoins is ADA with a rally from the 4 hour setup from last week. This is the setup from last week. We saw all of those this last week. I think it was last week, the 13th. Was it Friday? I think it was Friday. Okay, it was Friday when we saw this, or Thursday. Yeah, it was actually Thursday when we saw these moves. So, or Wednesday. So we're looking for this one to continue to the upside. Whether this one makes a bit of a pullback, but we are bullish. We are looking for this to make more upside. It's not as clear as Ripple, or rather Bitcoin, Ethereum, but should push to the upside. Binance upside as well. Let's look at, I want to look at XLM. Let's have a look at XLM as well. Not really a new setup there. The last one we had was again last week when we had this 4 hour setup here. So that is what we had on XLM. So wait for similar setups just to show you continuation to the upside. Link, the 4 hour setup last week was here, showing us continuation to the upside with this. That's not the right correct area. The setup was here. Yes, with this flat correction here, 4 hour setup, looking for this to make a continuation to the upside. Okay, we've just made another one here with this pullback. Look for more upside here on Link. And lastly, somebody asked us to look at Wink. Let's have a look at Wink as well. So Wink, we are looking for this to continue to the upside as well with the rest of the cryptocurrencies. We've got this set up on the 4 hour. Let's just place this one here. That's a 4 hour setup. Did not really go anywhere. 1, 2, 3. We'll still expect this to continue pushing to the upside. Okay, so we may get Wink doing this structure. So this is a move up, 3 waves. You can get this one coming down, move up, down, and upside. So we could be consolidating for some time here on Wink. All right, so that's all I have for you this morning. I will see you again tomorrow. Trade responsibly. Oh, yes, I'm getting feedback here. We got to 512 on euro pound on the daily, 0 on the low as well. So yeah, so there is something wrong with the data here on euro pound on Trading View. Thank you very much for watching. So just be mindful of that change. Just check it on other platforms. It does not look correct. Cheers, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.